All right, so today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Obviously, I'm not in front of my light box. I am pointing the camera at my models. There is my newest one, my Evangelion Unit 1 real grade. There will be a review of that already up on the channel by the time this video goes live, so that's good. So today I'm actually doing this guy here. So this is the Build Strike Gundam from Build Fighters, and it is yet another Strike Gundam. So I have these ones up on the top here. So I've got the Strike Rouge and I've got the Ale Strike RM. But I do, of course, also have a couple of others. So I've got the Perfect Strike, Perfect Grade, which still needs to be built. And I also have the Strike with IWSP. So I still haven't built that Perfect Strike, but I do have these other ones, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, the Strike is easily my favorite Gundam from all of the series. So I just have heaps. I even have an SD. I even have an SD Ale Strike. See, he's got his little Ale Strike backpack on the back there. This one I didn't film, which I kind of regret now, not filming the SD build, but it was kind of like a little late afternoon, and I just wanted to put something together. I also didn't film my 30-minute mission build, which got like the Strike style shoulders and stuff. So yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed. But let's take a look at this one here. So let's take a seat. Come here. All right, so obviously we've got the instruction manual. It is a really sunny day out there today, so the light is amazingly bright. It comes with its own stand, its own base, and this is just one of those stand bases like the Rouge is on up the top there, and it's a fairly stationary, straightforward kind of base. It doesn't really hold anything. Or hold any major action poses, it just kind of holds them up. It also comes with a few extra bits and pieces in there. This is a huge blue runner, which is an R runner, so this is primarily the backpack and a couple of other bits and pieces. You've got the A runner buried in deep here. N runner, sorry. Normally multicolours of the A runner. There it is. There's the A runner there. So you've got a few things going on here. Now, when I was first digging through this, I was like, oh yes, this doesn't have polycaps. Unfortunately, it does. They are in this one of these packets. I'm pretty sure there was a polycap thing, which was a bit disappointing. The kit itself is from 2014, so I'm not overly surprised. It's only really in the last couple of years that they've finally started moving away from these polycaps. So let's jump into the build. See what it looks like, and I'll see you on the other side for the review. All right, welcome back. So that was the build for the Build Strike Gundam from the Gundam Build Fighters TV series. Now this is, I believe, the main character's suit. Aoi someone. I can't be bothered looking that up at the moment, but this is probably one of the coolest suits I've built in a long time. This one is just premier grade stuff. Now, unfortunately, it does have polycaps, so it's not going to reach that master tier. But it is, and I'll spoiler myself here, it is going to reach a high tier rating. So this is easily one of the coolest master grades I've built this year, and that is including things like the Sazabi, the Dynamis. What else have I built this year? Not the Dynamis, the Barbatos, the Sazabi. I've built the Zaku Phantom, the Zaku Gunner Warrior. Built that twice this year. All the other Strike Gundams that I've built this year. This one is on a whole different level. This one's incredible. So part of that raving kind of review of it comes from the weapon systems. So first off, the Strike comes with this like bazooka. And it's just ridiculous. You don't often see a Gundam unit piloted by ostensibly the good guys with just such a ridiculously huge weapon. Now, it does come with a smaller version. It comes with like a beam rifle, like your normal standard beam rifle and things like that. But I thought, nah, beam rifles are boring. Let's do the bazooka and let's have that permanently in there. So the one issue I do have with the weapon is that the slot on the weapon and the slot on the hand don't really line up too well. Well, they do. They're just, the slot on the hand is really thin, so it doesn't actually like sit in there. So once you put it in, it just flops around. So I have had to glue that in place. So that weapon handle is permanently in his hand. But with this particular weapon, because of its modular status, I can actually pull it apart. So as you can see, it becomes a smaller weapon. You have another attachment that can go on the front here. It turns it into the beam rifle kind of thing, instead of this pistol version that it is. Let's get that fixed. Oops. And of course, it does also come with this backpack unit. So this backpack unit is like a separate glider fighter part to it, which is very strike impulse, or force impulse, sorry, and very much a throwback to things like Gundam Wing, which is where a lot of these yellow accents and the shield kind of inspiration is obviously coming from. But also you've got just some really cool elements. So there's just little homages, whatever you want to call them, to different units throughout the Gundam universe. Obviously, Build Fighters being a Gunpla-focused kind of TV series where they battle with Gunpla. You will get some really cool, funky kits with crosses from different kits. So this has got some really cool elements from Gundam Wing, the Strike Gundam, a little bit of Astray in there as well, and I absolutely love it to pieces. So this particular part here, this pulls out. I've got the landing gear down, so flick the landing gear down on the top of the unit there. Then once it's pulled out, you need to kind of pull it down and you gain access to this tab here, which slots into the back of the Strike, much like the AL Strike pack or the IWSP and things like that. If you've built a Strike Gundam before, you'll know what I'm talking about in that regard. So let's get it on there. So it does look pretty cool once it's on there. It becomes a little bit more understated, I think, because you can't see the cool shape of the huge backpack unless you've got it kind of side on or you've got it flying really heavily forward or anything like that. You can't really make out how cool this backpack unit actually is. But despite the weight of the backpack unit being a whole separate jet thing, it's super stable. So I have no stands on here. It's not touching the ground. The wing is touching the back end there, but there we go. So it doesn't fall over. It stands over reasonably well without looking like it's trying to lean forward like Michael Jackson. So that's a huge bonus in and of itself as well. So it's got some really cool features. The articulation on it is about as good as you'll find on a Strike Gundam, so I won't bother going through that too much, especially since this weapon doesn't come out of his hand. The only letdown on it is the shield. Visually, the shield is nowhere near as appealing as the rest of it. I find the shield to be quite a bland, boring-looking shield. I do have a couple of others, like I've got with the IWSP. It came with 2 different types of shields, so I may give it one of the shields from that, or I might steal the shield from my Strike Gundam and stick it on here and give the Strike Gundam something else instead. But we'll figure that out. For now, though, I'm leaving it pretty much as stock. I do actually keep it separate, so I keep the jet on this stand that comes with it. So this stand is pretty normal. A lot of people have seen these with master grades. It's just the single base, non-adjustable. It's got that slot on the top there where you can sit your mobile suit, and that's it. So it came with the Strike Rouge that I reviewed the other week, and it's come with this one. What else does it come with? I think the EW Gundam Wing Gundam had it. IWSP has it. Probably a few others as well, but yeah, it's a pretty common master grade stand from the mid-noughties to 2010 to 2014 kind of thing. So it is a pretty common one, especially one of these more mainline units. Now, that's the overall review. Like I said at the start of it, it is a high tier unit. I absolutely loved the build. It looks amazing. There are a few parts with this blue plastic, obviously, these the nub marks do show up quite badly. I am a one-snip builder, so I don't really get rid of those, mainly because I can't be bothered, but also because I feel like I don't have the technical skill for it. Again, this is Mildly Awful channel, not the Amazing Builder channel. So if you're wanting advice on how to get rid of those, I'd recommend looking up Zaku Aurelius or even Mecha Gaikotsu. They'll give you a bit more detail on how to get that done. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and found this review useful, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you next week for the next video.